Selamat datang di channel edukasi kami.
Hello everyone! In this video, our group will provide educations about one of the material which is crucially far interesting. You know what the material will be discussed in this learning video? So...
Halo teman-teman, kali ini kita akan belajar teori belajar sosiokultural.
Pernah nggak sih teman-teman akhirnya bisa solve a problem atau finally kamu bisa ngerjain tugas yang sulit banget habis dijelasin sama teman sendiri daripada dengerin gurunya waktu jelasin di kelas? Atau tiba-tiba nih you finally get it, paham suatu materi yang menurut kamu tuh susah banget waktu dijelasin secara teorinya, tapi waktu gurunya jelasin dengan cara yang simple, pakai everyday example yang dekat dengan sehari-hari kita. Nah, fenomena belajar mending sama teman atau belajar pakai everyday example ini ternyata ada scientific explanation-nya loh. Semua ini berhubungan dengan socio-cultural learning theory yang dijelaskan oleh Lev Vygotsky. Yuk kita bahas lebih lanjut tentang teori belajar sosiokultural. Learning is social. Early learning theories mostly focused on the individual. Vygotsky offered anti-different perspective. He believed cognitive development is more effective through social interaction via language, culture, and guidance from experts. The core idea is simple. Learning is a social process. Our knowledge is built through interaction with others.
Well, what Nabila said is absolutely true. Sometimes we understand faster when we study with friends or through examples that are close to our own life. For example, when the teacher explained the theory for a long time, it feels confusing, right? But when our friend gives example using sometimes we experience every day, immediately, so that's what he means. This kinds of phenomena apparently has a scientific explanations, and this is what is discussed in Sociocultural Learning Theory by Lev Vygotsky. I'm Julia Putri Alia, and I will discuss the implications of this theory in the world of education. How this theory can make the learning process more lively, collaborative, and relevant for the student. You curious? Let's see the material. Check it out. For first, teacher as facilitator. Teori ini menganggap bahwasanya guru itu fasilitator, teman-teman. Jadi bukan hanya satu-satunya sumber pengetahuan. Kalau dulu, guru itu masih dianggap sebagai satu-satunya sumber pengetahuan. Then, in Vygotsky view, teacher are facilitator, not center of learning. Teacher play a role in helping students find their own understanding through a process we call it scaffolding, a kind of temporary assistance given until student can stand their own. For example, in math class, di dalam kelas matematika, guru nggak akan langsung memberikan rumus menghitung luas segitiga, but provides with a simple questions. If you want to calculate the area of the earth, how do you do it? From there, students began to thinking and linking their experience with mathematical concept. Then the teacher helped guide and refine the understanding. Over time, the assistance is reduced until finally students can solve the problem themselves. This is what is called learning through quittance. Learning through quittance, not through memorizations. Yang kedua, the importance of social interactions. Vygotsky percaya bahwasanya itu belajar itu interaksi sosial, teman-teman. This means that the person does not learn in vacuum, but always through interactions with other, teacher, friends, family, and the cultural environment. So, activities such as group discussions, like debate in the class, or even exchanging story about personal experience can all increase student understanding. For example, in social student listen when discussing the diversity of Indonesian culture. Instead of teacher explaining at length, students are divided into group based on their regions of origins. Jadi daripada guru menjelaskan panjang lebar nih di papan tulis, jadi guru akan membentuk siswanya jadi beberapa kelompok yang terdiri dari beberapa daerah. Contohnya, si A berasal dari Papua, si B berasal dari Jawa, si C berasal dari Kalimantan. Nah, each group example in the typical culture of the regions, from food, clothing, to local traditions. Other group provide response and ask questions. From there, students not only understand the concept of cultural diversity, but also feel its meaning through real experience. This is essence of socio-cultural learning from real interactions with others, teman-teman. And number 3, peer tutoring in the zone of proximal development. The third, the most famous concept from Vygotsky is the zone of proximal development, or abbreviated as ZBD. The ZBD is to stand with a person's ability when learning alone and their ability when assisted by other. For example, you can write a science experiment report well, but when you work with the friends who already understand, kamu lagi mengerjakan tugas sendiri. Tapi ketika kamu bekerja sama dengan teman yang memahami materi itu, you understand how to organize data and write conclusions. Now, when you learn with the help of the friends, you earn your ZBD. Yes, this concept show that we don't learn alone. Konsep ini menegaskan bahwasanya kita tuh nggak diharuskan belajar sendiri. We develop because there are other people help us level up. Kita dibantu oleh orang lain atau orang sekitar untuk meningkatkan skill kita. So, activities such as peer tutoring, a group work are not just formality, but are truly effective in encouraging the development of student ability. Nah, yang keempat, relevance to the independent curriculum. Relevansinya dengan kurikulum merdeka. If we relate to the current educational context in Indonesia, this theory is very much aligned with independence curriculum. In this curriculum, learning emphasizes project-based learning. This means that students do not only learn from book or teacher lectures, but through real experience, collaborations, and exploration in the surrounding environment. For example, in the Pancasila Student Profile Project for Design Sustainable Lifestyle, students are asked to research the problem of waste in the school, find solutions, and create a cleanliness campaigns. In the process, they discuss divided role and learn directly for the community. The teacher only acts a good besides them, not in the front of the class. The results. What the results? Students not only understand theory about environment, but also have a real answer of maintaining cleanliness and social responsibility. Nah, yang kelima, bahasa dan budaya adalah sebagai jembatan pembelajaran. And the last, Vygotsky also emphasized that language and culture are the core of the learning process. Language is not only a means of communications but also a tool of thinking through language. The student can express the idea, discuss, and build understanding. Meanwhile, cultural provides of learning context, so that the material being taught is close and meaningful. For example, students in coastal area can learning mathematics by calculating fishman catch. A student in rural area learn biology for observing the rice planting process. In this way, lesson no longer feel foreign for their lives, but instead relevant to everyday life. So, from that all we have discussed, we can conclude that sociocultural theory provides us a new perspective in education. Learning is not just sitting and listening a teacher, but about interactions, collaborating, and sharing meaning together. The teacher becomes a companion, students learn from friends, and all of this process occur in the cultural context that we live in every day. Because in the end, as Vygotsky said, learning is social. Yes, learning is social. Thank you for watching. Hopefully, the explanations can help you understand the Cultural Revolution learning theory and can be applied in learning. Don't forget, learning the more meaningful way we done together.
Saya akan menjelaskan main concept of sociocultural theory, sebuah teori yang diperkenalkan oleh psikolog asal Rusia, Lev Vygotsky. Menurut Vygotsky, learning is not a isolated process. Belajar sangat terkait dengan lingkungan sosial dan tempat seseorang tumbuh. Dengan kata lain, kita memperoleh pengetahuan melalui interaksi, komunikasi, dan kolaborasi dengan orang lain. Jadi, learning is essentially a social process. Salah satu konsep paling terkenal dari Vygotsky adalah Zone Proximal Development atau ZPD. ZPD menggambarkan jarak antara kemampuan siswa yang bisa dilakukan secara sendiri atau mandiri dan kemampuan yang bisa dicapai dengan bantuan orang lain seperti guru atau teman sebaya. Ini bisa dianggap sebagai learning zone, area di mana tantangan tidak terlalu mudah namun juga tidak terlalu sulit. Dengan bimbingan yang tepat, siswa dapat mencapai pemahaman baru di dalam zona ini. Sebagai contoh, bayangkan seorang siswa yang sedang belajar bermain gitar. Pada awalnya ia hanya bisa memainkan chord sederhana. Namun, dengan bantuan guru atau temannya yang memberikan arahan, teknik, dan latihan bersama, siswa tersebut akhirnya dapat memainkan full song yang sebelumnya tidak bisa dimainkan sendiri. Nah, inilah yang kita sebut ZPD in action. Untuk mendukung proses ini, Vygotsky memperkenalkan konsep scaffolding. Scaffolding adalah bantuan sementara yang diberikan untuk mendukung penyelesaian tugas yang sulit berupa petunjuk, pertanyaan, pemandu, demonstrasi langkah demi langkah, atau umpan balik. Penting untuk dicatat, bantuan ini bersifat sementara. Seiring meningkatnya kemampuan dan kepercayaan diri siswa, bantuan ini akan dikurangi hingga siswa dapat bekerja secara mandiri. Analogi yang bisa kita ambil adalah konstruksi bangunan. Pembangunan tinggi membutuhkan scaffolds, tapi setelah struktur bangunan kokoh, scaffolds tersebut akan dilepas. Demikian juga dengan belajar. Awalnya, siswa membutuhkan dukungan, namun pada akhirnya dapat stand independently.
Contoh di kelas, seorang siswa kesulitan menyelesaikan soal matematika. Kemudian, guru memberikan petunjuk kecil dan menjelaskan langkah awal. Secara bertahap, siswa mulai memahami dan akhirnya mampu menyelesaikan soal secara mandiri. Inilah implementasi scaffolding. Kesimpulannya, sociocultural theory menekankan bahwa belajar terjadi melalui social interaction, melalui peran bahasa, budaya, dan kolaborasi. Lewat zone of proximal development dan scaffolding, siswa dibimbing dari apa yang belum dapat mereka lakukan menjadi apa yang dapat mereka lakukan secara mandiri. Dengan kata lain, learning grows best when people learn together. Dan proses sosial ini merupakan kunci keberhasilan pembelajaran.
Advantages of social cultural theory. Number 1, developing a proximal development zone. This means that children are given the opportunity to learn things that are slightly above their current ability with the help of others, it from teacher, friend, or adult. A real-life image that a student can do maths problem on their own, but when get with the teacher or working in pairs with friends who understand better, he or she can solve them. This is one CBD is called the ability to development through interaction. Number 2, focus on potential, not just current abilities. Learning is not only based off what students can already do, but its direction to achieve abilities that are not yet visible but cannot be achieved. A real-life example for children might not be able to speak English fully, but the teacher still given them simple conversational exercise to develop his or her speaking potential. Number 3, development of international skill. Collaboration. The learning process should involve comprehension, discussion, and communication between individuals. Real life, when students work in groups, they solve science problem. They share ideas and the solution with each other. Disadvantages of social cultural theory. However, this theory also has some limitation. The focus is more on apparent behavior. Usable process such as critical thinking or concept formation are something difficult to observe directly. Some aspects of learning, such as learning from multiple sources or solving complex problems, are not always scientifically rigorous. A real-life example, teacher can see students discussing in class, but it's hard to observe the process of how ideas are formed in their minds. So the conclusion, social cultural theory asserts that learning is a social process, not just an individual. Figures believe that our mental function development due to interaction with others and the cultural development, not so from within ourselves. So remember that we don't student alone. We thrive because we interaction, discussion, and help each others. So don't be afraid to ask questions, work together, or share ideas because that's how our brains development.
Thank you for learning with us. Keep learning, keep sharing.